So, you want to play Dead by Daylight, do you? Well, first of all, welcome to the party. Secondly, I don't know why you want to do that. This game is, this game's something, man. This game and this community are truly unlike anything else I've ever experienced in my life before. So, I have been playing this game for less than a year. It's a game I've expressed interest in since October. And I finally got the game on for Christmas. So I've been playing less than a year. And so that's kind of the thing. I'm still kind of a baby too. So I'm kind of learning things as well. And from my experience starting the game and to where I am now, I thought I would offer some advice to the new newbies that are really, really new, to try to understand this game and basically have the best starting experience that you possibly can, and just so you know what you're in for. Because, again, this game and this community, unlike anything I have ever experienced in my entire 21 years of life. A very, very interesting group. Very interesting group of people. So, I don't really have a huge intro planned out for this one. Just like, I thought I'd go through some of the stuff that, like, you're expecting, because, like, it's kind of difficult to, like, move. It doesn't really matter. This is for everybody. PC, console, whatever you're playing on. If you're playing on DVD mobile, yes, that's the rumor right now. See, it doesn't matter what you're playing on. Just thought you should really know what you're in for if you're gonna play this game with all of us fucking toxic hooligans, man. Bunch of fucking weirdos play this game. Okay. So the very first thing, you're probably coming into this game, I don't know, some people very closed-minded. I was a closed-minded individual. I came into this game going killer main for life, dude. But the very first piece of advice that I have to give new people is never limit yourself to one side or the other. Don't say, oh, killer main for life, survivor main for life. Don't ever say that. Always make sure you play both, have experience on both, have like meta sets for each side. Even if you don't main one side, always make sure you're investing blood points in both sides of the blood web. Make sure you keep both sides balanced. If you're getting frustrated with one, play the other. You gotta be able to do that. You gotta be able to be somebody that is able to play both, and I will explain why. Because it very much limits your perspective when you play one side. You don't really understand what the other side goes through. In order to make sure you are able to effectively play this game and understand things about it, you have to make sure you know what both sides are talking about and be able to experience the chase, the interaction between the killer and the survivor. You have that is being chased. You have to make sure you experience that from both sides. You need to make sure you understand what doing a generator is like, and how the toolboxes work. You need to understand everything for both sides. It's important to understand the healing speed, stuff like that. It's important to understand each side's perks, what they do. And if you limit your perspective, you can have a really hard time understanding what is happening. You have to understand the game. Like, when you're a killer and you're getting juked and shit, and someone's using sprint burst and you don't know what the fuck sprint burst is, that's a problem. If you don't know what dead hard is, if you don't know what this stuff is, you can't counter it. If you don't know what no one escapes death is, if you don't know what dying light is, if you don't know what all this shit does, you won't be able to counter it. And you gotta understand, like, the other side's shoes. You gotta know what they have to do stuff. You gotta understand. I think a killer should know how to perform a 360 as a survivor, and understand optimal times to perform 360s. Understand when survivors should be dropping pallets, because you can use this side. You can use the information presented to you by your experience on the other side and then apply it to the side that you most comfortably play. For me, again, that's killer. I do identify as a killer main, but you should be making sure you balance it by playing both sides, because you can't limit your perspective on this game, because when you limit your perspectives on this game, it makes you really uninformed when the two sides butt heads about certain things. Because it's really funny. This community is so unique in the fact that we have two communities within our community. It's so fucking weird. They're the killers and the survivors, and they are really, like, they hate each other. Killer mains hate survivor players more than they hate players of other games. We hate each other. I think it's really funny because like the art imitates life, man. What goes on in the game with the killers and survivors constantly butt heads, that goes on in real life too. We all butt heads, we all fight all the time, and we all fight about what's broken. Survive with friends is always a subject of contention. Perks like decisive strike, no one escapes death. On both sides, there's stuff like that both sides bitch. Survivors DCing, killers DCing over dumb shit. Like, it's stuff that goes on. This is stuff that you're going to be seeing in this community. And you're like, not trying to scare anybody. Not trying to scare anyone, but I'm going to give it to you straight about Jason. But, like, it makes you more informed for more informed debates, if you will. Because, like, again, no one escapes death is a huge topic of discussion. And, like, the killers always say you can counterplay it, and survivors say, well, guess what? If it goes off, there's literally nothing we can do about it. But like killers are like, well, just get rid of the hex totem. Like it's shit like that you see all the time. And so, like playing both, experience all these perks from both sides. Number one, helps you learn the game faster. If you play a survivor, you'll know what the survivors do way faster than if you just play killer. I think that was probably my biggest weakness as a killer at the beginning. I always, since I didn't play survivors until like early January, and I got the game Christmas. I didn't play survivors till early mid-January. But like, it really limited my perspective on survivor perks. And like, since I didn't understand them, I couldn't counterplay them. So you have to play both to learn the game faster. You will have more knowledge of the game if you understand how adequately to play both sides and the meta for both sides. Killer's meta is usually use ruin to get an early down and stop the healing process any way you can, and make sure you're applying as much pressure as possible. Survivors is gen rushing. You have to gen rush, and if you lose control, you have to be able to kite efficiently. Those are the two very basic meta for what your main goal is and what you're trying to do. Listen to people better than me, because like the thing is, I'm not the best player in the world. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But like, this game, it's kind of like Fear itself. You're all horror junkies. You know how Fear works. Fear works best when you don't understand something. And like, this game is a machine. You can understand how it works, and when you understand how it works, you can understand, like, you know, when you understand what you're doing and the goal, you can set your mind to it, and you become desensitized to the whole, oh, I don't want the killer to find me, like stuff like that. But you gotta desensitize yourself to that BS first. I mean, don't get me wrong, this game's intense. This game's very intense, but like, you gotta figure it out. Once you figure it out and understand what you're doing, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. And once you figure all that garbage out, man, you'll understand it in no time. But yeah, the very first thing that needs to be said is that you gotta understand how to play both sides and what both sides are trying to do. Why dropping the God palette early is important. The God palette is the palette of the Killer Shack, which is the building with the window and 2 entrances. It usually has the base. It's this building that the Legion's in right now. That building, that's the Killer Shack. You gotta understand how to loop that on both sides. You know, understand what moonwalking is. Understand that red light. You know, stuff like that. Because if you're a killer, you don't even know you have a red spec. You gotta know what the red spec is and shit like that. Just basic shit like that. And then the very next thing I think needs addressed is how to level up the blood web, which I'm actually going to make a cut because I've already filmed that part of this video, and I wanted to do it like live and in person rather than going over footage of it, so I decided to just make a separate cut. So we're just going to go ahead and cut to that separate 25-minute video I made about how to level up the blood web and just how to understand it, shit like that. So we're going to go ahead and cut to that right now. Boop. Alright, this is kind of a jump cut because I wanted to actually do this one live. The next thing that I really think is good to know when you're starting out is how to understand this blood web. When I fucking started the game, the way I did it was I'm just gonna understand the blood web as I go in, and looking back on it now, I really wish I hadn't, because I probably wasted a lot of fucking blood points. on the fucking blood web that I wouldn't be wasting now. So the blood web is how you get your, it's how you level up, right? You see this shit? It's how you level everybody up. And it's how you can closer unlock teachables. Teachables, basically, for killers, it's that there are the three perks that they start with, they become teachables to everybody else when you level them up, which is why they are important. That's why leveling up is important, and how you do it's important, because think about it this way. Nurse is the killer I think this is going to be exemplified with the most, because Nurse's calling here is a meta perk right now, but here's the thing. Nurse is super hard to play, and on console it's just the fact that she's worse than she is on PC. So if you're not going to play this character, you don't need to like level her up. Like you're not gonna play as her, so you shouldn't be wasting blood points on leveling her up. So, but you still want this perk. So what you need to do to save blood points is choose routes in the blood web that are going to save you the most blood points, if you will. And see, common add-ons cost less than uncommons, which are then cost less than rare, which are then cost less than the purple ones, the super rare. So basically, when you're leveling up a blood web of somebody that you're just trying to get a teachable on somebody else, or same thing with survivors. I don't know why I said for killers. Survivors are the same thing. You want these teachables. You want to make sure you choose routes in the blood web that are going to save you the most blood points to get the level. Okay, so if you're trying to level up somebody to save the most points, you want to get the entity, which starts around level 10. At the beginning, the entity is not there and shit, but like, when you're trying to level up somebody you're not going to be playing as, you want to make sure you see the entities beginning to consume things as soon as fucking possible. So, looking at it here, how can I get, the entity starts when you consume a perk. So there's 2 perks on every blood web. Looking at where I'm starting, I want to make sure I can get to Deerstalker as fast as possible while saving the most money. So the optimal route for me to go is these 2 common ones, because I would only be spending 6,000, where if I spend here, I spend 7,000. So I go over here, do this, get Deerstalker, and then the entity automatically starts consuming this perk right here, which I don't really care for. And so, basically, we don't know which way it's going to move yet. So, we're trying to save money, so we're going to go to, we're going to buy this metal spoon and see where it goes. Okay, so now it's either going to go down here or down here. We're kind of hoping it goes down here. So let's see what it does. We're just going to keep spending common things. Fuck, it didn't do what we wanted. There we go. You see how it did that, and then it consumed both of these. So we saved some moolah, and then out of these 2, we obviously want to get the scratch coin. And I didn't even see that. Oh well. I don't think there was any way out of buying that one. So now we got the nurse up to 30, and we unlocked her teachable Strider. So we just the same thing. We want to get the Strider as fast as fucking possible. So we just go boom, boom, boom. The entity consumes Noed, and it's gonna move down here. But we're trying to bait it. So we want it to hit this one right here, since and potentially go over here and consume this one, because we don't care about all of this garbage right here, because we don't play nurse. I'm not using this in a game ever. So we're gonna bait it. We're gonna buy this next, which will bait the entity over here to this one. And then, so we're gonna buy this one now. So now it should be forced this way to over this one. So now it's safe to buy like another common one. There we go. And now we saved fucking 11,000 blood points because we got rid of these 2. Because first of all, these things are garbage. I don't ever fucking use these. And like, this might be good if I was a nurse main, but like, I'm not playing this character, so it's useless to me. And if I'm just trying to level up nurse, it's just a waste of my money. So now it should be going up here, which is where we're gonna buy this. Okay. And now we're just gonna fucking, out of these two, it doesn't matter. And now out of these two, these don't matter either. So there, we did it. We did a route that saved us a lot of cash. Just lots of cash money, people. We're gonna do the same thing. And then I'll just do one more example on a survivor as well. And again, there's other videos on this by people who are better than me. So, let's see, who am I never gonna be playing? Well, let's see, Claudette's level 49. Let's go ahead and level her up to 50, if I can. I don't know where I am on this blood mode. I've already started it. We'll go ahead and change it up then. Let's go to, Nia. I mean, I kind of play Nia, but we'll just... This time we're gonna do a blood web. Yeah, this isn't really a good example. What the fuck is... What's Lori doing? I want to find a blood web where I'm trying to, like, maximize it. Okay, okay, this time we're gonna do an example of me trying to maximize what we get. Oh, there's not 2 perks on this one. Okay, let's switch to killer. Let's switch to killer again. Sorry, survivors. Let's go through. Who do I understand? I main Michael Myers, so let's do Michael Myers. Let's level him up. Okay. I kind of get... This isn't a good example either. Okay, but it's good enough though. We'll work with it. Okay, so as a Myers main, Deerstalker's garbage, and Bitter Murmur's not that great. But let's see. I want Bitter... If I get Bitter Murmur, I get it out of the blood web, because I will have maximized this perk out. So I will have it out of the fucking blood web, which can make me save room for other stuff that I need later. So that's what we're gonna go for. But I also main Myers, so I want to be paying more attention to this stuff right here. What do I want? So there's 2 routes to get to Bitter Murmur. There's down here, up here, 3, 4. So there's 4, or I could take a faster route to Boyfriend's Memo and Judas Journal. So Judas Journal, let's look at that. You become obsessed with one survivor, considerably. So okay, this is a decent. I want this. So what you do, well, do I want? The question is here: do I want hairbrush? A nylon bristle, which moderately increases duration. I mean, it's not garbage, but I also, like, don't usually run stuff like this. This is kind of, like, mediocre stuff, but, like, we'll go ahead and... We're trying to maximize it. It's technically kind of optimal to get, so we'll go ahead and do that. Alright, hairbrush. Boom. Boom. Well, here's the thing. I'm trying to, like, save stuff, right? I don't want, like, the entity to get everything here. Because Judas Journal is good. Right, I want Judas Journal. There's another Judas Journal over here. So if it's possible, I would like to get it. After I get Bitter Murmur, the entity is going to automatically consume Deerstalker. And then it will then get to Judas Journal with no way for me to get to it. So, if I want Judas Journal, the entity hasn't appeared yet, right? It hasn't even appeared. So, there is a way for me to get Judas Journal. I can go down to fucking Tacky Earrings and buy this. That made the entity spawn, right? So, that means it's gonna get a perk next. It's gonna take Bitter Murmur if I don't get it, which I'll just go ahead and take it. It takes it, and it goes and consumes Deerstalker, but that's okay, because now I can still get Judas Journal because I bought the earrings before getting Bitter Murmur, if that makes sense. Just watch it back. It's not too hard to complicate. So now I get another Judas Journal, which is actually pretty damn good. So I get it, and then it jumps down here. Now the rest of this isn't stuff that, since I'm a Myers main, like stuff like Tacky Earrings, like I don't fucking really give 2 fucks about this. So it's kind of just, I'm gonna avoid Putrid O because I still don't like this garbage. But like, I honestly don't care for anything else in this blood web, really. So now that I got everything I want, now it's just kind of random. Now it can just be basically random. Usually now you'll kind of be wanting to like get stuff to maximize your blood points. I wanted to get the fucking Putrid Oak, so we're gonna go ahead and buy this because I don't want to get the fucking oak. There you go. That was leveling up, kind of trying to maximize it. Oh, and here's... Okay, this is actually kind of a hard one. Ooh, shit, okay. There's actually nurses calling down there. Okay, because we'll talk about that in a second. I want Nurse's Calling. Like, I could get Play With Your Food, but I want Nurse's Calling bad. So, Nurse's Calling, I have looked at this blood web and decided the thing that I am maximizing my priority is Nurse's Calling. That is what I want. So, we're going to look at this again. The shortest way to get there is Boyfriend's Memo, Survivor Pudding, Nurse's Calling. So, we're going to go ahead and do that. Now again, if I get Nurse's Calling, it consumes Play With Your Food, which I don't really want because I'm looking at this. I would also like to get this Ebony Mori if I can. So, we're going to try to go ahead and find a way to do that. And so, we're going to start this little trail over here because the shortest way to get to Ebony Mori is to get the Dead Rabbit, and then the Hazens, and then the Mori. So, we're going to go ahead and see if that's possible to do. Okay. The entity hasn't shown up. Boom. Okay. Now I can get this, so I get Nurse's Calling. Well, actually, wait, because I don't have to get Nurse's Calling yet, because the entity has already said, okay, I'm going to consume Play With Your Food. So which means Nurse's Calling is actually safe for a little bit. So I can actually consume the Ebony Mori first. And now we have to see what it's going to do next before it consumes Nurse's, because it's going to keep following this trail. So what do we got here? What's left? Dead rabbits. Monetary radius we wouldn't. Okay. Okay. Alright. Okay, so we're just gonna see what it does. Okay. So looking at all these, I still like Judas Journal the best. So personally, that's just how I play. It's the thing that will allow me to get my Evil Within 3 the fastest out of all of this stuff. Evil Within 2, this Mirror Shard isn't bad either though. So, let's see. But there's also a chance it could consume Judas Journal. So, I'm going to actually play it safer and get the Mirror Shard, because I also like the Mirror Shard. So we're going to see if I can get the Mirror Shard. Okay, so it didn't go the way we wanted. It went this way, which means the route's out, so now it's going to get Nurse's Calling next, which is the main thing I'm prioritizing here. So I'm going to go ahead and snag that. Okay. It went over here, and so now I'm going to be able to get the Mirror Shard. Went down there. It's going to go after this next. And so let's see what I want next. I'm going to go ahead and grab this 75% offering. And, okay, I actually don't know what it's going to do next. I think it's going to go down here and get the jewelry box next. So we're just going to go ahead and, yeah. It's a predictable thing. You can always tell what it's going to do next. So you can either maximize what you get on killers and survivors that you want to play as, or minimize, or make sure the entity consumes more stuff so you can save money. It just seems... It's just like that. It's just like that sort of thing. And when you hit level 50, that's when you're going to prestige somebody. My only prestige character right now is Laurie Strode, because I wanted to test the waters of it and test how it worked. So, when you prestige a character, oh, I can't really, I don't know if I have enough to what's on my Claudette right now? I could try to prestige her. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to have enough currency to do it, though. When you hit level 50 is when they, I'm gonna go ahead and try to do it. Okay. We're trying to save money here, so what it's gonna go down here. We're just gonna kind of like stay away from it. Oh, okay, it's gonna go down here. Should get both of them. Yeah, it gets both of them. All right, we don't know where it's gonna go. It's probably gonna go to the Weed Ring next. Let's get the Commodious. No, it didn't do what I thought it was gonna do. See, you can. It's a predictable sometimes. I did it. I did it. Okay. Level 50. So basically, this is the cap. I am free to do anything now. I can take this blood web or prestige the character, which I'm gonna prestige the character to show you what happens. When you prestige the character, you lose everything. So everything that's here, you lose it. You can do this 3 times, but so, like, yeah, I'm gonna lose everything, but here's the thing. All of these offerings are fucking garbage, okay? So, like, this is a very cluttered thing. And, like, as good as these perks are, I'm looking at my perks right now. Okay, I have, like, the same build of, like, 3 other characters. So, like, yeah, the level's not as high, but, like, when you prestige the character, you get better offerings in the Blood Web. So, you get better items. So, and then you can unlimitedly refill the Blood Web once your character hits level 50. So, basically, yes, you're losing things, but, like, it's a lookout for the future. So, I'm gonna prestige the character because I don't have anything left to do. Prestige level. Okay, so it resets Claudette to 1, and you get this little skin so you can show off. But let's see, since I'm a pervert, I want my females to be as undressed as possible. And would you look at that? The first thing I get's borrowed time. Fantastic. And there's no entity, so you just bam, and then it just restarts all over again. But you get better stuff. And if you're trying to actually play the game seriously, you want to get better stuff. And that's basically what you want, because everybody else is prestiging the characters and they're gonna have better stuff when you play against them, especially as you rank up. So it's important that you do that. And then the last thing that we really need to go over is the thing that can potentially save you so much trouble and hassle, and that would be the Shrine of Secrets. The Shrine of Secrets, as you can see, Nurse's Calling, a meta perk. Spirit Fury, also a meta perk for killers. I don't know what these two do. I don't think these are meta. But like here, once you can potentially see meta perks in here, and it resets every few days. So because I got Nurse's Calling the Teachable, I have saved myself a lot of heartache in leveling up the Nurse for killers. Because, like, okay, Strider and, like, I'm gonna do it for completion's sake, but, like, now leveling up the Nurse is on so little on my priority list. I don't have to do that because the main thing I want from her, Nurse's Calling, is now in my teachables. So the reason to get her to 40 is now done. As you can see, I was leveling her up to get there, but I'm not gonna waste 9 levels of blood points to level her up just because I don't have to do that anymore. So it saved me, like, a lot of heartache on having to level her up to get a Nurse's Calling on anybody who I would want it on. Like, I don't know, you could run Nurse's Calling on anybody. Billy is really good with it, but I don't play Billy. I don't know about Dr. Myers, the Pig, just anybody you would want that fucking thing on. Legion. It gets good on anybody, really. But, like, the main reason to level up Nurse is now in my Blood Web, so I don't have to do it anymore, essentially. Whatever you do, dude, it doesn't fucking matter. I guess we could talk about who to level up first. Last thing, for killers and survivors, there's, like, it doesn't really matter. There's other videos on this, so I'm just gonna keep this brief, because people are smarter than me. And for survivors, the one you should really look at is Claudette. Claudette's the best character in the game for survivors, no question. She blends into the environment so fucking well. Claudette is the best character in this game, by far. But here's the thing. This is why I chose, like, when I first started playing, Laurie Strode and Decisive Strike was the main metagame perk, so I fucking leveled Laurie up first for D-Strike. But, like, the reason I say you don't really need to level up Claudette first is because medkits are an item. The main thing you would want to level her up for is self-care. But self-care, like, is an item in the game. Anybody can theoretically have self-care as a med kit. So I think it's better to level up exhaustion perk characters. When D-Strike was the best perk for a survivor, Laurie was definitely the choice. But, like, now I think the most common exhaustion perk is balance landing, so Nia might be a good start. Nia, David, and Meg Thomas. Nia, David, and Meg are probably, in my opinion, the 3 best starting characters, because they have Dead Hard for David, Nia has balance landing, and Meg has sprint burst. The top 3 exhaustion perks are owned by these characters. The things that will maximize your ability to, like, kite the killer and do well in a chase are these 3 characters right here. So they are my recommendations to start. I think Meg is probably the easiest because sprint burst, like balance landing, is only good on certain maps Well, I mean, okay, it's good on every map. There's a place on every map you can use it, but balanced landing is like, you have to be able to plan a route really effectively to use it, and if you don't know the maps well, it might be harder to do that. And dead hard, the killers can read it. So if the killer, especially if you're playing David, if the killer knows you have it, the perk, it might potentially be useless. Meg is the character that will give you the most consistent reward of an exhaustion perk. Might not be the best reward, because I think balanced landing is the best exhaustion perk in the game. But Meg's Sprint Burst is the one that will give you 100% of the time wherever you are on the map. The only downside is you can't run around the map, or else you'll cause yourself exhaustion. So her other mobility is limited. So it's really just a trade-off of who you pick. Although Lori, D-Strike is still a good perk. So if you still want some anti-tunneling stuff, D-Strike is still good. And then everybody else, honestly, they're just not really good at being the first characters to level up. I guess Ash, because Ash is stupid, but like I don't have Ash because fuck that shit. But like if you're just starting, probably Meg is your best bet, honestly, to start the game. Nia being second, as I think balanced landing is a powerful perk, and urban evasion is also good. So basically, if you pick Nia, you get 2 meta perks right away. So she's also not a bad idea. So Meg is definitely the easiest, but if you're going for a ward, Nia might actually be better now that I think about it. Although quick and quiet, oh, and adrenaline. Meg has adrenaline. Okay, adrenaline's also a meta perk. So Meg and Nia give you 2 yeah, okay. Nia and Meg both give you 2 meta perks right off the bat. So they're, in my opinion, the best characters to level up. I mean, technically, Object of Obsession is a super meta perk if you can use it right, but since you're just starting out, probably not the best choice. But yeah, that's for survivors. Killers, Trapper is definitely the easiest killer in this game. I started with Myers because that's who I like, because I also am a masochist. Trapper is the easiest killer in the game. Definitely play him. He's to start. He's super easy. Just put the traps by pallets and windows, and you can't go wrong with rank 20 stuff. That's definitely who you should play. Rate's not too bad. Billy it says he's easy, but he's powerful, but like you gotta know how to maneuver that chainsaw, and if you don't know how to do it, it might screw you up. Nurse is hard, don't even touch her. Don't even touch her. The Hag is kind of like a trapper, so you might want to try her. Leatherface is pretty easy. His chainsaw is way easier to control than Billy's. Billy should be intermediate. Leatherface is definitely easy. Clown's pretty easy, honestly. Don't touch Spirit right away, she's too hard. And then Plague and Legion, maybe Legion. Legion's pretty simple. But, so the simplest killers in the game are Trapper, Leatherface, and the Clown. And if you're starting at rank 20, he's kind of hard to get down, but no one knows how to deal with the Doctor at early ranks either. So if you actually want to start with Doctor, your ability to like fucking screw up the low tiers might be super good. So like he's kind of complicated, but if you not really master, if you can kind of have a solid Doctor down early, you'll screw everybody up. But like definitely, if you want to like do well at top level, you're going to need to pick up one of the top 5. The top 5 are Nurse, Billy, Myers, Huntress, and Spirit. The easiest is definitely Myers, in my opinion, of the top 5 at least. Some people think Hag is really good in top 5, so you might want to try her. But definitely Myers is definitely like the easiest killer that's in like the upper half of the tier list IMO. Some people think the Clown is actually really good, so take your pick. There's quite a lot to choose from. I would level about 2 or 3 up, honestly. Never keep all your eggs in one basket. Just play a few of them. Honestly, and because like you kind of need to level everybody up, especially if you're a killer main, or if you're a survivor main, you have to level everybody up too, because if you want to get the best builds for everybody, everyone has to be at a decent level. So like, but if you're just starting out to learn the game, Trapper, Leatherface, and the Clown are my recommendations. Alright, I think that's everything from this part of the video. Jesus, that took longer than I was expecting. So we will now move on. This is just kind of a cut, so we'll see where we'll get you back on the next part of the video. There you go, boys, and now I hope that's a lot easier to understand. Again, there's other videos by better people on that, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. The next thing that I'm gonna say is that you gotta try to remain calm playing this game. This game is hard. I'm just gonna say that. This game is very, very hard. It's hard to play on both sides. It's hard to get into on both sides. Because we have a very... the Dead by Daylight community has a very toxic reputation. Is it a bit overblown? I believe so. It's not... It's honestly... I played Smash Brothers for 11 years. I played Smash Brothers for a very long time. The Dead by Daylight community is not as toxic as the Smash Brothers community. Mark my fucking words. Mark my words, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. We're not very good either. But, like, compared to Smash Brothers, I think we're okay. But this game is hard. And like, this game has a very reputation for being toxic because of a few people. But the thing about it is, getting the opponent mad makes them play worse. And in this game, that feat is very much exposed. Very, very much so. Because, like, a survivor dropping a pallet and teabagging will infuriate the killer. It infuriates the fucking killer. And then the killer will make stupid decisions that will affect them later in the game. Alright? That's the thing about the fucking... all that fucking bullshit. That's why survivors do it, because they want you to fucking play worse. And that's when a killer, like, it works something on both sides, and survivors are not the only ones guilty of this. Killers could do, like, dumb little head nods after they down you, and they can do shit like, they can do dumb shit like leave you on the ground, pretend to pick you up, drop you, pick you, like, they can do shit that will just piss you off. And the reason that they do it is they want you to play worse. They want you to get frustrated. Because it's a psychological thing. And like this game, when you play angry, you play bad. And like that's a thing for every game. But I think this community has a reputation of bringing it out in people much harder because of just kind of what we're known for. That's just kind of our thing. But this game, and honestly, like compared to Smash, like yes, some people in Smash are toxic, and those are individuals. But like entire teams can be toxic in this game, which I think is a common thing for all team games. But like, because the fact about this game that makes it unique of team games is that it's asymmetrical. You are really like, it's 1 versus 4. So there's only one team in this game. The other person is an individual who is in control of the game. So that's the thing. One side, the survivor side, can frustrate their entire opponent side, the entire other opposing team, if they just frustrate one guy. And so that's why some people try to do it. It's a strategy, okay? It's a very cruel strategy. It's a very mean strategy. But the fact is that it's a strategy that some people will use. They will use it, and they'll use it to its fullest potential too. It's truly a work of art, honestly. So like, I mean, yeah, don't be a dick. Like, I don't approve of that type of strategy because, but like, it's a head game. It's a head game, and another thing, you just saw it right there. If you're a killer, don't worry about the fucking last guy. 3Ks are still victories, okay? Because that's how you really... This goes in with my next point, too, about the ranking system. What really matters in this game is making sure that, is telling, stuff like the last guy, it could cause people more frustration than it's worth. You just gotta understand what the general people think the win condition is of this game. If you're a killer, your job is to kill people. If you're a survivor, your job is to survive. If more people are getting out than are dying, survivors win. And if more people are dying, then the killer wins. That's what you have to mentally tell yourself, honestly. Because if you don't, then you will feel worse if you worry about things like the ranking system. Which we'll talk about that. It's like, I worried about the ranking system one time. We all fucking won the match and I didn't pit, but I was so fucking mad about it. But the fact is, I mean, it can be hard, and some days you'll fail. Some days you'll get mad. Stuff about this game is gonna make you mad. That's just the cold hard fact. But the fact is, you shouldn't be worried about the fucking ranking system. Because, you know how much rank matters in Dead by Daylight? It fucking doesn't. Rank doesn't fucking matter in this game. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't get any rewards for your rank. Like, you don't, rank 1s don't get rewards every time there's a new chapter. There's no fucking skins that you get. Like, they don't just go, oh, you're rank 1, cool, here's a free skin. Like, no one does, no one's doing that. Nobody's getting rewarded for being of a high rank. The only reward you get at rank 1 for if you're a survivor is you get to play unlimited matches against nurses and hillbillies. Woo! Doesn't that sound fun? That's why people leave this game when they hit rank 1, just wait for the rank resets. It's because, like, I don't want to play nurses and billies over and over and over and over again. And if you're a killer and you get to rank 1, all you get is infinite reasons to pick up nurse and hillbilly. Like, rank doesn't fucking matter in this game. And then the fact is that the rank system right now is a broken mess that needs fixed. It's a broken mess. They abandoned the one that was working, and they made this new one, which is just fucking terrible. We all agree it's fucking terrible. And the reason it's terrible, I've talked about this in another video, it's just that the way that you pip and what the meta is are different now. The way you win this game and how you pip in this game, how you rank up, have become different on both sides. And it's truly disgusting. It truly infuriates me. Because it's just a thing that, like, I'm so impressed, actually, that they have made a ranking system that goes against the design of their game. It's fucking incredible. So, like, you really just have to do your best to ignore that, because that shit is more frustration than it's worth. And you just can't let yourself get fucking sucked into that trap. Because if you let yourself fall into the trap of rank matters in this game, then again, it's more heartache, more frustration, that you're just going to experience over the thing of this game, which is the fun factor. This game is super addictive and super fun. But if you fall into the trap of giving two shits about what your rank is, like, if you fall into that trap, you're not going to enjoy it much anymore. It's going to become quickly something that you just go, oh, fuck this. I don't want to go do that. Worry about what my rank is. So just fucking don't worry about it. The rank system is fucking poo-poo, sucks titty cock a pee-pee. Don't worry about it. It's garbage. More stress than it's worth. Especially since it gets reset on the 13th of every month anyway. No, I write that down, that's important. The 13th of every month is when rank gets reset. And then, so, the last thing that I'm gonna say is that I can't teach you how to play this game, because I'm still learning the game myself. I rewatched that Bloodweb section of the video. I realized, as I watched it, I made mistakes on that Bloodweb. So, like, I'm clearly, like, still learning as well. As I sat there and watched it, I'm like, oh, I could have done this and that and the other to save even more money. So, there's stuff I'm still learning about the game. And like, I can't even level up a Bloodweb effectively enough. I mean, the routes I chose definitely saved money, but they weren't the most optimal routes I could have gone. But, like, the Claudette Bloodweb, I retreated from it. I should have approached it, because there were sections. I should have just took the time to study it more. I was trying to get it done as fast as possible for the video. That was my mistake. I should have looked at it more. But it doesn't matter. Just like, so you're gonna be still learning things. This is not a game you just go, oh, two days later, oh, I'm gonna play effectively. It's not. Because there's so many matchups in this game on both sides. There's so many things you gotta be able to know. And so, like, I can't sit there, I can't teach you all that, especially in one video. But here's the thing. If you want to play this game, play it competitively, you have to watch it. You have to stay informed about current things happening in the game, and you have to understand the buffs and the nerfs that are coming, the new killers that are coming, what they do, and you gotta know where to go for that. So, like, I can't teach you how to play and all that shit. I can't go through every perk in the game, but, like, there are YouTube channels of better players than me that will generally get you up to speed. Tide Time has a good survivor guide, but Dan Knows HTML has a good killer guide. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do. So I'm just gonna go through now the last 15 minutes I have. I'm not gonna like give an in-depth description of everybody, because honestly I haven't watched all these people enough to know stuff about what they do. But like, I know some of them, so I'm just gonna go through it. True Talent is the first guy we're gonna talk about. This guy's a god, man. He plays both killer and survivor. He is probably the best spirit in the entire world. He's probably the best at a lot of killers in the world, honestly. This is probably I mean, I can't. I mean, I haven't watched everybody. I haven't watched Arditha enough yet. But like, so far out of everybody I've watched, he seems to be the best killer that I've ever seen in my life. He seems to know what he's doing. He is making Legion great again. He has like dedicated himself as a killer to like optimizing Legion and Freddy to the best of their potential. He's like, he's a god, man. His spirit build broke the character. He really understands the game. And the thing about True Talent and Arditha too, but we'll get to him, is that he's so calm as he plays. Which I said, you gotta remain calm when you play this game. He's so calm. Like, when True Talent's Ruin gets destroyed in the first 30 seconds of the game, he goes, oh well, they got Ruin. That sucks. They got Ruined. This might be harder now. Like, he'll give it like a brief mention. But he won't like get frustrated. Like that's something I do. My Ruin gets popped in the first 30 seconds. I go, oh god damn it. He just goes, oh, they got Ruin. I'd strive to be like that because he just doesn't get frustrated, and he still wins when his Ruin gets popped. Dude. Like he's so. Every killer main in the world should strive to be like True Talent. He's a really fucking cool guy. You can just tell by watching him play the game that he's cool outside of it. He's one of those people. Tide Time is the next guy. Tide Time's strength as a Dead by Daylight YouTuber is that Tide Time really knows his stuff about the game. I haven't watched Tide Time's not somebody I really watch for gameplay. I watch Tide Time's videos for information about the game. You can tell the fucker's just so passionate about it. He loves it. You can just tell through watching his videos are very informative. He goes over perks. He goes over killers. His last video was on the nurse. Like, he goes over stuff about how to play him, how to go over. He really knows the game, and he understands how to play it. He also has a tier list, which is kind of controversial, but I didn't have that big of an issue with his tier list. I thought it was okay. But just like he's a guy that understands the game, and he's really passionate about it too. And he's another guy that does current event stuff. When something new gets dropped, he will be one of the first guys to be on it, and he's really good at doing the news. So good job with him. Damn No HTML is the next guy. He has a really good guide on how to be a good killer, so definitely watch that one. Even if you're a survivor, you should be watching that. He's also really good with the Huntress, so all Huntress players should be looking to this guy. He's a very good Huntress. Probably he might be the best Huntress in the world. I just haven't watched him play enough. But like he's definitely a guy. He knows his shit too. He has a good Plague video. He had some really good analysis on pre-patch Legion and why that was a fucking garbage character design. So he's a really good guy to check out too. Pain Reliever is a really good. Pain Reliever is good too. He does gameplay. He has a perk tier list for both sides, which is probably his best stream of content ever. Just like you can go through get a little analysis of every perk in the game, the ones that matter anyway. Sometimes he does a little meme in there. And he also has a very good video on how to counter the Doctor for all you people that need help countering the Doctor. He has a good video on how to do that. He has a video on how to counter the Nurse. I don't want to say he's a Survivor favorite player, because he has videos on how to play killers too. So he's a very informative channel too, to like get into character specific things. The King is very good with giving the news. I haven't watched him enough. I usually watch his news content. Polyester is another one that he kind of gives news. He kind of does a lot of speculation though, so not the most reliable sources, but it can be fun to speculate, and I think he's good with that. Hybrid Panda, more gameplay. I haven't watched him enough, but I know he does more gameplay. Arditha is a really good nurse, so I mean he plays a lot of killers, but definitely watch him for like to see what Nurse can do. Nurse being the best killer in the game. And then I put 4 meme channels because there are channels. I don't get me wrong. I think all these players are good, but they definitely like highlight memes of the community, which I love. I very much care much for that. Noob 3 is he likes to run toxic builds. I love that shit, dude. He also is a very infamous Mia, so that's some good shit. Noob 3, Demi is funny as fuck, dude. Demi cracks me up. I haven't laughed as much as I've laughed watching Demi in so long. Demi is funny as fuck. His video where he opened a store and the map, basically what they did was they opened all the chests. He and his friend, I forget the friend's name, David. No, Alex. Alex is his friend's name. He and his friend Alex, they opened all the fucking chests on the map and brought all the items to a specific spot, and they tried to get people to like exchange their items. It was funny as fuck, dude. And the Demi and Alex's personalities, they really shine through in their videos. Funny as fuck. Very funny, dude. Sir Rodian has a lot of funny ass montages. Dead by Myers is his most notable one. Sir Rodian. I don't know if anybody caught that. He's got some very good montages. Funny as fuck, dude. He doesn't you won't see him talk. It's just his montages are funny. And then the last one I want to talk about, because this guy is very infamous in the community, and I think he deserves a mention for that reason, it's Ochito. Ochito is how I learned about this guy. I have a soft spot for Ochito. Ochito is the guy who I started watching clips of his montages, because he's a massive fucking meme. He's a super toxic person, which has gotten him a bad reputation in the community. And he's actually banned right now. The devs actually banned his account on every fucking system he plays on. So you actually won't see his Dead by Daylight content has been cut back, but he still uploads funny moment montages of it. But like, he's a very important part of this game, and like, I think there are the player base wouldn't be as big without him. And you can tell he loved the game, and you can tell he had a passion for it, and I don't think we should hate him for that reason. But like, Ochito is the one who made Prestige 3 Claudette famous for toxicity. People associate Prestige 3 Claudette with toxic because of Ochito. And he would like his flashlight spam and like his teabagging. Everybody knows who this guy is. And I think like it's not nice to be toxic. Like it's definitely not the right thing to do. But you know, sometimes people, their toxicity shines through, and what Ochito can do, what Ochito shows you through his toxicity, is that there are ways to respond to other people being toxic to you. Because I am not, my stance on toxicity is this: you should not ever instigate it. But if somebody attacks you first, go all the fuck out. Make them fucking be as disrespectful as you want to them. If someone's being toxic to you first, go ahead and be toxic right back. Because I'm not a big fan of be the bigger person. I think that's a bunch of shit. And it's a bunch of fucking shit, dude. And yeah. But so like, watch Ochito for ways to respond to toxicity. If someone's being toxic to you first, look at him for ways to respond to it. It's a shame he's not playing anymore. I fucking loved him, and I like watching like these players go against each other. True Talent has Arditha had some great matches with True Talent when True was playing Survivor. Arditha's Nurse had a good game against him, and his Myers had a good game against him. But like, it's just cool to like see these players, because these are the best players that I've seen, at least. But it's interesting. I don't know how good they all stack up to each other. This is because like the thing about this game is we don't have tournaments except like online, so it's really hard to figure out who the best players in the world actually are. I think we have a pretty good idea of who some of the best players in the world are, but like we can't really know for sure because of this game's lack of a metagame, which like I'm hoping this game gets a fucking tournament started, and we get like the Identity 5 is a big clone of this game. They have a fucking tournament system. I hope this game starts getting tournaments. I think Behavior could make a lot of money if they ran tournaments for this game. I think it would be interesting, and I wish they'd fucking do it. So like, what do you expect from playing this game? It's fun, it's hard, and it's not gonna be. Not every game is going to be a fun experience, but the people that get good at this game are the ones who endure through all the stuff that this game throws at them. Because this game you will love this game and you will hate this game. You will hate everything that comes out for this game, but you'll also love everything that comes out for this game. It's a very complicated game to play, both inside of the game and outside of it. You're evaluating your relationship with it, because it's complicated. It's very complicated. But it's certainly unlike anything I've ever played in my entire life. Welcome aboard, man. Welcome to the hype train that is Dead by Daylight. There is a reason this game is still around. There is a reason this game has built Behavior Interactive from the ground up. There's a reason, man. That, like, this game definitely has a lot of hype behind it. That's why, like, it was so broken when it first came out. It's definitely a different game today. But, like, Behavior wasn't expecting as many people to download this game as what would happen when they first released it. That's why it was such an unbalanced fucking mess toward the beginning. Because everybody realized what was broken about the game. Because this game was original! This game was original! So, of course, there were going to be mistakes in it. And... like, the people that made this game are fucking pioneers, dude, of this genre. That has really kicked off in parts of the world like Asia with games like Identity V. And I really hope that we get a sequel to this game on the next-gen console. And I hope we really fucking, like... I think they should make more games. There's so many things I want for these characters in this game and this genre as a whole. And I think that this game has really sparked something, man. You see all the people cosplaying it. It's truly a community I'm happy to be associated with. I am happy to be associated with this community versus Smash Brothers, which Smash Brothers was a pain in the fucking ass. I hated it. I hated fucking Smash Brothers when I played it, dude. This is a game I don't hate. I don't hate this game. But, like, and for the longest time, I just thought it was normal to hate the game that you play. Like, don't get me wrong, there are days when you're not gonna like this game. This game's like your fucking autistic stepbrother, dude. There's days you ain't gonna like this game one bit. But this game is something that I can honestly say I'm proud to fucking play. And I was never proud to play Smash Brothers. As good as I was at Smash Brothers, and as many PR players as I've beaten in Smash Brothers, I wasn't never happy playing it. And if I was happy playing Smash, I don't know where I'd be in that game today. But that's about me. And, like, you gotta love what you do, okay? And honestly, that's one thing I can say. If you don't love this game, none of the garbage that people give you, and none of the crap that the devs give you, and the people that you'll play will give you, are worth it. So, in order to play this game effectively, you have to fucking love it. And if you don't love it, none of the heartache this game will give you is going to be worth it. And that's basically the biggest piece of advice I can give you. If you don't love this game, put it down. Because people that do love it are going to give you a hard-ass time and frustrate the ever-loving shit out of you. Well, this is a bigger project than I thought it was going to be. But anyway, welcome to Dead by Daylight, man. Enjoy your stay in the fog. I think that's what we all say, right? And hail the entity, all that good Blackie bullshit, and may Legion continue to get nerfed. Just kidding, love Legion. Okay, that's it, boys. Welcome to the fucking fog. Have a good time.